Hey, this will be a video chart on ERHE, ERHC Energy Incorporated. I've been following this one for a long time, and it's finally starting to show some life. There's been so many false kind of bounce moves. Looking back here at a longer chart, I mean, here was a false one right here. Then we had another false one right here. Here's another false one. And then today, or I shouldn't say today, but the past couple of weeks, finally we have one that's been able to sustain itself and get on the up go. You can see that up go. That's not a real word, but anyways, this purple line here, which is a 50-day simple moving average, it's just been an absolute pain. But finally, the bulls have pushed through it, and not only pushed through it, they've closed way above it. So overall, good day, very good week. And I think my favorite thing, if I had to choose something about today's chart, is just simply the volume. Volume starting to come back to life here. The biggest it's had since this day over here, which has been a couple weeks ago. So lots of good things to like about this chart. Still work to be done, yes, but at the same time, it's definitely showing signs of life and showing that the bulls are kind of making their presence felt again. I can't remember the last time I did the video chart on this. I know I've done some annotated ones, but this also makes just a great chart lesson too. So what's been going on? Well, from the longer term perspective here, we had this downtrend line. So if I draw that, so if I grab that and draw this down, you can see that depending on where I want to connect it, I'm just going to use this point here and then from the top. But we've just very clearly had a downtrend for the past four months or so. And then what we had here was a breakout above it. We came back and kind of tested it right here, and then have bounced back off it. So that's good. That's just classic textbook breakout right there in terms of how it acts. But what I really liked and what I was keeping a very close eye on was this orange line here, the 200-day simple moving average. We had gotten above it here, and then we were just kind of going sideways. But what I liked was it never fell out of the zone. Supports, resistances, they're not specific prices, they're zones, they're webs, they're force fields, however you want to think of it. So any sort of moving average, just picture kind of like a little web around it. And as long as the price is within that area, then it can still be considered there. Because we got above it, it had become support. So now what we wanted to see was, can it really hang around this area and not collapse back down? And yeah, we had a close below it, but it was still within that web area. And then previously this week we got this nice candle here, had a nice consolidation one, and then boom, the bulls completely separated through it. And in separating from it, they even got above this 50-day. So lots of good things going on in the short term for this chart. So people are asking me, so what do you think of the reversal? In my opinion, not quite a reversal yet. Is it a bounce? Yes, this is definitely can be considered a bounce. But once again, from the overall chart perspective, still work to be done. But bounce, yes. Reversal, not quite. But it's getting very close to being a reversal. But what I would like to see happen is one more pullback and see how it reacts. This was a very healthy pullback. This showed that the chart had some strength. But if there's another pullback and the price comes down right around this area, or maybe even back down to the 200, if it can hold like it did here and then bounce up and break to a new high above there, then I would say that this, the chart's officially reversing and really getting some steam behind it. Test one was here with this pullback. Then we got a break to new highs above this area here. Now I'd like to see, how it reacts. Doesn't necessarily have to pull back, but let's just say it goes sideways a little bit. I just want to see that it can continue to put in higher lows. That's my main concern is, can it put in higher lows, and can the bid stay strong enough to sustain any sort of bid whacking or anything like that? The question here, yes, very clearly. I mean, here's where this low was right here, and the previous low is way down here. So what that's telling us is those bidders had to really up their bids if they wanted shares, because nobody could get shares down here anymore. They just weren't available. And that's what we want to see here. If there is some sort of pullback, a low up here would just imply that now, instead of bidders being able to get shares down here, now they have to up their bids to way up here. And that's what you want all the way up in a nice uptrend, is bidders having to, bid more and pay higher prices for their shares. Overall, though, a very solid day. From a resistance standpoint, we just pretty much have this level right here, which is 70 cents, which is basically where it got rejected today. Once again, not exactly, but close enough to say But if you look back here at this 70 cent, you can see previous highs over here. So that's going to be the next resistance area. But I know the majority of people are playing this one. They're holding it for longer term. So I would just like to see how it reacts in any sort of pullback or sideways action. Can it put in another healthy high low like it did down here, or is it gonna pull back a little bit more? I just want to see how it reacts when some profit takers begin to step back in again, and that way we'll be able to really judge the true strength of the chart. But so far, the bulls are really looking strong here. So congratulations to all, and everybody should be going into the weekend here smiling. If there are any other questions on the chart, please shoot me a message. I'd also encourage you to check out bullwarriorstocks.com. If you go there and subscribe to the free newsletter, you'll be sent a free ebook, and with your subscription to the newsletter, you'll get chart setups, trade ideas, educational pieces, all sorts of things from big boards down to penny stocks. So there's a good variety, something for everybody. We've been making some good money together, so it's worth at least checking out, giving it a try, and best part is it's all free. So give that a try. One more time, this was ERHE. Thanks for listening, and have a great weekend.